I love the transmission. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're gonna be going over a 2021 Buick Envision. First and foremost though, a huge shout out and thank you to National GMC for giving me some time with this Buick Envision. Check out their inventory in the link below. They have the new GMCs, they've got the new Buicks, and then they have amazing used inventory as well. So yeah, like I said, check them out. Let's get into the video. Under the hood, we have a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder that's paired to a 9-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 22 around town and then 29 on the highway, with power outputs being 228 horsepower and then 258 pound-feet of torque. Now here's the front end of the Envision, which I absolutely love the look of it. It kind of has this nice, sleek, modern look with a couple elements that kind of give it a sportier edge. So first off, you can see these body lines here on the hood. I kind of like how that accents everything up top. And then we've got these full LED lights, and since they're kind of smaller in size, it kind of gives it a sleeker type design. And then we've got this blacked out portion that contains one of the parking sensors. There's more parking sensors across the front. Got our signature Buick logo with a camera just there at the bottom portion. But yeah, other than that, that is everything for the front end. Now coming on the side here, we've got two 45mm tires wrapped around 20-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And I love how they've gone for a fully blacked out design on the wheels because it perfectly contrasts the white paint on this particular Envision. And then coming up and taking a closer look, notice we've got the Buick shield right there in the center. We've got these black fender flares, and notice that the black continues all the way along the bottom, so it kind of creates some nice contrast with it. And then also notice the mirrors are blacked out and then the rails there at the top. And so overall, definitely looks cool from a side profile perspective, especially considering that little body line right there. Now popping here into the back of the Envision, notice we've got our cargo cover built in already. And then coming here, notice we've got a little 12-volt hiding behind that tab right there. And then storage space back here is actually pretty good, even though this is a smaller sized SUV. Spare tires just underneath. And yeah, that's pretty much everything for the back, so yeah. Now let's finish things up here in the back. So first, notice we've got our Envision badge, all-wheel drive badge, and then we've got our ST badge on the other side. I love the look of the taillights. Parking sensors all along the bottom portion, and then notice it's blacked out there on the very bottom. And yeah, other than that, again, still looks really good from the 3/4 angle. Now here's the door panel in the back. Notice we've got really nice soft touch leather here with stitching that goes all throughout, and I love the design on it, and then this trim up above as well. And then here are the seats in the back. So you can see again, leather seats, perforations in the center portion, and then really nice stitching all throughout with a nice piping here on the side. And then notice there's the vents for the rear, a couple of USBs as well. And yeah, other than that, that's everything for the back. So yeah. Now here's the door panel in the front. So again, notice we've got the beautiful stitching all throughout here on the front with the nice leather trim, and then you've got the nice trim there at the top. This does have memory seats. Here's all your window controls, and then this is for the rear hatch. This does come with the Bose sound system. And then here are the seats at the front. So again, full leather here, perforations in the center portion. Got the nice piping and stitching. They are power adjustable. There's the pedals there at the bottom, and then this is just the light control right there. That's for the heads-up display, the information for the screen, and then notice there's radio controls in the back of the steering wheel. Well, you can see those, and let's pop in. So here is the steering wheel. We've got nice soft touch leather all over the steering wheel, contrasted stitching in the center portion. Got the controls for the center stack, voice command, phone controls. We have our cruise control on the other side with the controls for the follow function and then the heated steering wheel. Paddle shifters here on the back for the 9-speed automatic. Got the little stalk there for the light and turn signal. Windshield wiper stalk on the other side, and that's all for the steering wheel. So here's the center gauge cluster. Notice we've got the RPMs on the left side, the speedover on the right, and then we do have this center screen right here, which you can scroll through like information, music, navigation, phone, and then the settings itself. You can kind of go through all of that. And also notice that we are in the 2-wheel drive mode here with the Envision, which you can actually change that because we do have some different drive modes. Notice we've got our all-wheel drive, which you can switch into, and then we've got our sport, and then we have our off-road mode as well. And so you've got those 4 different modes that you can go between, but the touring will just have in 2-wheel drive so you get the best possible fuel economy. So here's the center infotainment system. First off, we'll go over the camera system. If we pop it into reverse, the backup camera will pop up. It's got trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel. And then notice we've got all of our viewpoints here through the camera. So for example, that's out the front. And then notice you've got that viewpoint as well. And then we've got the side on top of that. And so just overall, the camera system is fantastic. You guys know I'm a huge fan of all of the cameras in the GMs. It's perfect. The resolution is great, and yeah. Anyways, as for the rest of the infotainment system, response time is great. Notice you've got a shortcut button to the camera. It also does come with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. I love the integration here onto the dash. It definitely looks nice how it has the hood over it, so there's not as much glare. But on top of that, I don't know, I think it's just very nicely integrated design-wise. Shortcut buttons there on the side. And speaking of the dash, notice we have stitching there even at the top. But yeah, that's the infotainment system. We have our hazard light button right there, and then notice we've got our controls here for the climate zone. We do have a dual zone climate, heated seats as well, and then notice that you can press this tab to kind of cover up that section. This is just some extra storage, and then it does have some charging areas. And then notice we've got our auto stop start here, the hill descent control, lane keep assist, stability control, and then that's for the parking sensors. This is the transmission selector right here, and then you've got the M for the manual mode. Got a couple cup holders right here with the parking brake, and then this is the drive mode select. Center console right here, so press this button and then it'll open up both sides. Storage space in there is actually really good. And then also got nice stitching here on the top of it. And then opening up the glove box, pretty normal setup right there. And then notice you can open or close this vent here at the top, so it's cool they actually give you control over that. And then finishing things here at the top, notice we do have a full panoramic sunroof. Controls for the sunroof are just right here in this area. Universal garage door opener is right in front of it. And yeah, that's all for the top. So there's a massive amount of glare, so it's kind of hard to see the window sticker, but we can at least come here to the end so you guys can see the MSRP, $44,270. And wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Let's take her out and see how she drives. Talk about visibility before we set off here in the Envision. Here's your visibility of the hood, and notice the heads-up display. Hopefully you can see that through the GoPro. There's your visibility through both of the mirrors, and then here's throughout the rest of the rear. That all being said, let's set off. Heading off here in the Envision. So first off, let's talk about the ride quality and road noise as we're getting up. And if you're wondering, I'm in the sport mode, so it is in all-wheel drive, and then it's going to be a little bit more aggressive with the throttle and all that because we're gonna get our acceleration. But the first thing I want to mention again is just the ride quality of this. So far, very smooth. And let's see how this 2-liter does. I love the transmission. So the transmission, very quick to shift, very seamless with the gear shifts. Just a really good transmission. Now we'll pop it back into the touring mode, so it'll go to 2-wheel drive and it'll kind of lighten everything up. I want to see what the turn-in is like here. Yeah, definitely nice from a turn-in perspective. You can feel a difference when you're in the 2-wheel drive mode from the all-wheel drive mode, so that's pretty cool that you can actually perceive the difference in terms of how it actually feels with the steering and everything. I want to get another acceleration here, but in the 2-wheel drive mode to kind of see if it feels a little bit different with the acceleration. Oh yeah, you get a little bit of tug on the steering wheel, more so than what you get in the 4-wheel drive mode, so that is definitely a fact with the Envision. But we'll take another loop around for you guys so we can talk about the ride quality and all of that. So first off, in terms of the ride quality, yeah, very smooth. It's very comfortable. The seats are also very comfortable. There's not a whole lot of tire noise. It is pretty windy down here today, and wind noise is pretty minimal, which is definitely nice. And we'll see the brakes. Yeah, brakes are really good as well. I like how this drives. I definitely like how this drives. And that 2-liter, right, there's a little bit of turbo lag, but it actually gets into it at relatively low RPMs, and so it definitely feels pretty good from an acceleration standpoint. And I guess that'll get me into summing things up here with the Envision. So first off, from an exterior aesthetics perspective, I love how it looks on the outside. It has this cool sporty look, but then it's also just like sleek overall, and it's just a really beautiful vehicle. Like, You know those old commercials from like 2000, I think like 2010, that were like, wait, that's a Buick? That's what I felt like when I saw this. Like, I was surprised that this is a Buick with the styling that they have. It looks really good. Interior wise, I really like the interior. The seats are comfortable, they look nice, there's nice stitching on the dash. I love how the infotainment system is integrated. The touch points all feel really nice. So yeah, overall, definitely a huge upgrade actually over what Buick was in the past. I mean, I'm surprised. I really am surprised overall. So what I'd have to say is, if you're looking for, again, a smaller sized luxury type SUV that's a little bit different from what you kind of normally see on the market, then I would check out this Envision. It's way nicer than I expected. It's definitely a surprise. Now that's gonna sum things up for our video on this 2021 Buick Envision. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to National GMC for giving me some time with this Envision. Check out their inventory in the link below. I'll see all of you in that next video.